Useless. What's that then? Gone orange. Are we working? 1, 2. Hello, everyone. One person. How are we all doing? That'll be better. I'll turn that off. Presumably it's working now. Hopefully it's working now. Yeah, I think it is working now. Now I'm tempted to have a look on my other phone to see if it is working. So welcome to Let's Do Lunch. Just been talking to my brother on the phone. That's why I'm a little bit late. Blame him. So I don't know if we're going to get anybody to pop in and say hello, but we'll see. Now live on your channel. Here we go. Put it to all messages. This went really well last week, so let's see if it does this week. I'm just going to try and make sure this microphone's working. Got no way of testing it, to be honest. Hello, Conrad, how you doing? Oh, there you go, it's working. I noticed I got my Bluetooth earpiece in, so I didn't know if I'd switch the audio off. I'm very well, thank you, Connor. How are you doing? 2 people. We're not doing very well at the minute. These seem to have took off pretty well. There's over 100 people watching by the time it's gone off, so I quite like doing these. So I've set one up for today at 1 o'clock, one up for tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So if you want to be here at 1 o'clock tomorrow, hopefully I'll be on time. I've just been talking to my oldest brother on the phone for half an hour. We very rarely speak, even though we text a lot. We're in like a family chat group, like most people have, on WhatsApp and stuff like that. And so we chat on there, but very, very rarely do we chat. But we're off away on Monday morning. We're going to spend some time together. I'm good. Picked up a mic and headphones for streaming yesterday. Going to start streaming soon. It's just a confidence thing. Well, you don't got any trouble with confidence. You go on live streams all the time. So what are you going to do? Going to do it on YouTube, or what are you going to do? Thing is, with confidence, it builds. That's the thing about confidence. Just press go live and don't take any notice of the haters. That's the way it works. I've noticed this channel seems to be doing pretty well, to be honest. When you put a vape-related video up on the other channel, it gets instant recognition. So you get that big dopamine hit from people watching and commenting and stuff like that. But with this one, the videos take a lot longer to build. You'll put something up and you think, oh, everybody hated that. And then 3 days later, people start to watch it. And sometimes it could be a week later before you actually do any good with it. But you do get quite a few watchers in the end. Quite a few people watch it. But I looked on yesterday, and some of the videos what get the massive views, I've got quite a few on there that get really good views. They also get lots of hate. I think it was Des Turner that told me a long, long time ago, you know you're doing well when people start to not like you. So stick it with that. The server that I'm has a Discord where you can post the link. Got something like 10 to 13k people on there. So hopefully someone clicks it. Yeah, it might do. I never did very well on Twitch, to be honest. I don't do very well on TikTok either. I do all right if I put a video on, but I get nothing whatsoever if I go live. It's just not my audience demographic. I quite enjoy doing this. I prefer YouTube, I think. The good thing is with this, when you do it with it vertical, it seems to go out into your short speed, so you do get a lot of people in. But you also get a lot of people that come in, never say anything, and then leave straight after. So if you're watching me last week, I've still got the same shirt on. Although obviously it's been in the washer. I've got a few things coming up on this channel. I've done a few different things. Hello, Cheryl. How you doing? Finally caught you. Good morning. I don't know whereabouts in the US you are, but I hope it's not got too windy. I'd like to hear from Arnie to see if he's doing all right, but I don't think it's. I think he's Miami area, and it's down where it was before, isn't it, on the Gulf and that. So it looks pretty bloody windy there. Bless him. You finally made it to one of my shows. Yeah, I was a little bit late coming in. I was just saying to Conrad, I've just been talking to my brother for half an hour, my eldest brother. My dad's 88 now, and my eldest brother is basically he's running the job. He's the head of the family. I don't know what people are like, but I'm very old-fashioned. Like when, I think the natural progression of where the oldest brother is always in charge, so he gets more respect nowadays. You don't argue with him. You're in Virginia. I've never been there. I've done Florida 4 times. I've done Chicago, and I've done Vegas, baby. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think it's tradition, isn't it? I said to him, because obviously he didn't. When you're in a close family, he didn't want to ruffle any feathers or stuff like that. And I just said to him, look, this is the way it is. It's your job. You've got a sister in Florida. Whereabouts is she? They were showing you Clearwater last night. It looked pretty rough around there. And they were saying that they'd put all the stuff out from the last thing, and they were worried it was going to whip it up and turn it into, obviously settees blowing in the air or couches blowing in the air, and all wooden furniture splitting up, and it was going to turn it into like weapons instead of what it was supposed to be, because they've never got it cleared up from the last one. And they've got it pretty bad, haven't they? That's one thing in actually, now I go outside. Oh, you're all right. Yeah, that's about where it is as well, isn't it? My mate Doug, I don't know if I tell everybody different things, and sometimes I can't remember who I've told, so I'll just say it again anyway. We started off on an app called Blab a few years ago. I don't know if anybody remembers it. Apparently, it was the old Bebo servers, and somebody decided they were going to. I can't remember the guy's name, but they were going to turn it into one of these apps where you could 4 people in a room and everybody in the chat, similar to what we do on YouTube now, but you can get more people in a room. Anyway, met him on this thing called Blab. I'd always had a bit of an interest in doing this type of thing, so I went on and I had a really terrible idea, and he advised me of what to buy, so I went out and bought it and came back, and we became good friends, to be honest. So we're actually going out to Florida that year, so we met up in. Where did we meet up? We actually went down to St. Pete's and met him there. Stayed over the night. Then the next year when we went back. Hello, Arnie, you're doing all right then? That's the main thing. I was just wondering where you was. So the next year we went back and he come to stay with us in Kissimmee for 3 or 4 days. But they've had it really bad. He moved. He was outside Tampa. Just outside Tampa. I can't remember the name of the place. But then I think he moved down on the Gulf. He was looking for a place to stay, and he ended up in a house share down on the Gulf. Anyway, it's wrecked his car, and things aren't going too well for him. Bless him. Just wish I was a millionaire. I could send. You always do, don't you? When your friends are struggling, you just wish you were able to send them 10 grand over and sort the life out. But I ain't even got a grand. So it missed you again. You're a lucky man. Because it looks pretty bloody windy, that, doesn't it? There's a lot of live streams of the situation as well now. If you look through TikTok, everybody's streaming to show you what it's like. But hopefully it's something happens. I know there was one supposed to go up a few years ago, supposed to go straight up the middle into Alabama, and it diverted and went somewhere else. So that was a good thing. But these natural disasters, they were saying that it was getting, I don't know, it depends who you believe, but they were saying that it's getting more intense because the oceans are warmer, so it gives it a chance to whip it up even more. But you don't know, do you? I mean, over here when they do the weather, everything used to be, the weather map used to be green. But now, even at 18 degrees, the weather map's orange. basically suggesting that it's warm, but it's still only 18 degrees. You know what I mean? I mean, we've had some reasonable weather this last week. It's lovely and sunny out there now. I'll see if I can show you. I don't know if you can turn it over, can you? Have a look out my kitchen window. That's what it looks like. Nice and sunny. That's good for October. In fact, it's brilliant for October. I don't know how many we're going to get in today. Sometimes these go really well and sometimes they go less well. But if you've got one person to talk to, you're doing all right. Especially if it's Connor. So I think Connor ought to get his own YouTube show. What do you reckon? Get him on the YouTubes. The good thing is now, and I set this stream up, you can actually set them up. In the mobile browser now, you can set them up and then go live at a specific time so people know you're going to come on. There was also tornadoes at the same time. Bloody hell. It seems weird when you're looking at a petrol station and you can't see the pumps. I presume they've already took the pumps up, but it's like nearly up to the thing with water. You think, God. That's the problem, isn't it? I mean, when you live in the UK, your weather's pretty flat most of the year. It'll get down to -3 and it'll get up to +30. But that's about as far as it goes. We're obviously, like Florida, it's a beautiful place, but the only problem is it attracts those storms, doesn't it? But you've just got to weather the storm and see if you can manage to get through it. But sometimes, when they're forecasting absolute doom and gloom all the time, must be awful. Yeah, it's just weird, isn't it? I was looking at the beach, Clearwater Beach. We'd been on Clearwater Beach. It's a good while ago now. And at the side of the beach, there's was it a boardwalk? What you call it? We call it a pier, like a wooden pier. And we went down there one night. And they've got some sort of craft fair on there, and it was so cool watching this. The water, the moon was coming off the water, and it was so warm and beautiful. And then watching it yesterday, and the waves are battering it, and the wind's battering it. And it was, it looks really sad. But we went. There's a place down there called the Tornado Cafe, and we went down there for lunch one day. Just pulled in, and it's quite a famous place in the area. And we had the strangest meal. It was like a slice of toast with meatloaf on the top, and then all sorts of things on top of it. It was lovely. And we drove down there the next time we went, and it was closed. Typical thing. So if you're watching on the replay when I've gone, please hit the thumbs up. It seems to do it some good. I think we had 96 views on the last one I did, which has gone on from having no views when I first started, so it's working out. I've just been watching a guy this morning, call him Dom Jolly, did a thing called Trigger Happy TV over here. I don't know if he did it over in the US. I think it did get over there, but it might have been a different bloke. And he's actually got on TikTok now. But he's doing a series of live shows over here. And I think he's on there to promote that. And he's got a massive audience in no time at all. Actually, I'm quite famous for getting a bit drunk and then emailing people and asking them to come on my show. And I actually asked him one day, and he replied. He didn't actually say no, but he never said yes. But it's just one of those things to do, isn't it? So I had a day off yesterday, and I had a lovely day. Spent it with my wife. We ordered an Indian takeaway for the first time in a long, long time, and had a beautiful meal, and then sat and had a few beers and watched the telly. We watched the story of Amy Winehouse, and what a sad story that was. How addiction and alcohol can ruin your life at 27 years old. And she had so much to sing and so much to give. It's quite sad, isn't it, really? Thankfully, I don't suffer from any of that. But we watched last week, we watched a story about I'm trying to think of his name. It was a guy that saved 689 Jewish children's lives during World War II. Is it James Wilton? Sir James Wilton? And that was that was pulling on the old heartstrings, that was. Especially when they did a show at the end and all the people were there. And some of the people that have been saved were, they came on as the actual audience, and it was sad how they made her perform like how she was out there. Yeah, she struggled. I remember if you look on YouTube and put 50 years of Stratocaster, they did a concert to celebrate 50 years of the Stratocaster, and Amy Winehouse was probably about the second or third act to come on. And she was only young then, and she was so pretty and so talented as well. But chances are, if she'd have never got talented or any money, she might still be alive. But the actress that played her was brilliant. I'm sure she sang some of the songs herself as well. And I'd never seen her before. Apparently she'd been in a few sort of American cop shows. But she got the accent perfectly right, and you could hear her singing. You could hear it was her singing. And she was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, she did have a beautiful voice. She had a voice that was 20 years older than what she was. She had a jazz voice, didn't she? I can't remember what the first album, but Back to Black was amazing. What an amazing album. But that was the end of it, didn't it? But her dad, I don't know if you knew, her dad was well, I don't know if he still is a cab driver, I don't even know, Mitch, they call him, Mitch Winehouse. And he's a jazz singer, but he was also a cab driver, a London cab driver. But I watched a documentary about her, and I don't think, in some cases, he didn't realise to what level her addictions or her problems were. But the thing is, like, I've got a son who's an addict, and you can't change him. You can't do anything for him. You can try your absolute hardest, but they'll just take you down as well if you don't watch it. But how sad. And she was dedicated to that guy who she was with. But he also had his addictions and his problems, and part of his treatment was to get away from her, because they said it was a toxic relationship that didn't help. There's a guy called Michael UK Trader who I followed on TikTok, and there's about 10 million accounts that are all faking him, and they're all trying to give me financial advice and get money off me. So I messaged this one, which was obviously a fake account, and I said, how come you've got so many accounts? Oh, he said, this is the only one you need. You only need to follow this one. He said, people are faking me. So that was, but the way it was spelt was all wrong, and I thought, yeah, definitely. So I blocked him. That's the thing with TikTok. There's some corrupt people on TikTok, and they're all trying to get your money off you. I don't bother with people on there, really, to be honest. If anybody sends you a direct message, I don't bother. There's quite a few people who I follow do tours of Benidorm. And there's one guy in particular, he's good. He's really good. But he goes to that place where we stayed for 2 weeks, and he pronounces the name wrong every time he goes. But he pronounces it differently wrong each time he does it. And he's calling it, I can't remember what he was calling it last time. And he was actually doing a live stream from where he was. They don't try with you, you're too poor. Well, I am. They won't get much off me, I can assure you. The thing is, if you were going to decide that you were going to go into, let's try some trading. Where are you going to go? You're going to get proper advice. You're going to say, right, let's get a deal. I'm off TikTok, and I'll send them all my money. I had somebody, my mobile rang last week, and it was a mobile number, and when I picked it up, your Amazon account is just about to be shut down. Hold the call to make sure it isn't. I thought, oh yeah, of course it is, yeah. Yes, they're going to ring from a mobile number, of course they are. If you're in the chat, don't be frightened, or if you're watching this, don't be frightened to type in the chat. If you've got any questions about my manscaping, please do. I did a review. Jane from Shy Tot sent me out some shaving cream, which comes in a crystallised form, and with a list of instructions of how to do it. So I did a little video on that, because I like to do a video. If anybody sends anything, I like to do a video about it. So I put that up on the channel last night. Anyway, I've had to order a shaving bowl and a brush because I haven't got anything to do it properly in. So I'm going to try that out. It does seem very waxy because there's a thing stuck at the top of the jar, and as I opened it, it fell over. Yeah, you never get a call from Amazon. They tried it with my mum. My mum's 82 in January, and they'd rung her up. And of course, she wasn't daft. They rung her up on the landline, so she rung my brother up off a mobile and says, "Oh, they're telling me that they've something wrong with my Amazon." He says, "I can assure you won't, but I'll just ring Amazon and confirm that because we've got power of attorney." And he said, "I'll make sure that in." She said, "Oh no, it's a scam. Just put the phone down." So she put the phone down, and they rang 20 times off 20 different numbers to drive her mad. They're so cruel. They just they don't care, do they? I suppose, if you're sat in an office somewhere, you're not bothered if it's somebody's mum, and you just want the money, don't you? But it's massive business, isn't it? Scamming. They get you to put your details over, I think, and start ordering stuff off your account, don't they? I don't know how that covers you. I've never got a call from Amazon either. It definitely was a scam. Computer voice. But there's another thing that they send you. They send you emails saying, "Oh, you haven't paid a parking fine, and the police are going to come around and lock you up." Or you haven't paid your tax bill, or you need to get in touch with HMRC on this phone number because you haven't paid, and the police are going to come and arrest you. You can't. You can get arrested for tax avoidance, but you can't get arrested for not paying your tax bill. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, they like to do that because you haven't got anybody to talk to. My mum and dad are lucky; they've got a good support network around them. I've got two brothers, and they can ring any of us at any time if they need anything, and we'll just go and do it for them. It always makes me nervous though, because my brother doesn't ring me up very often, and when he rings, I think, "Oh God, there's one of them. Something wrong with one of them." I was just about to get in the shower one day, and my dad rang up. He says, "Hello." He says, "What's up?" He says, "I fell over in the car park at Morrison, so I nipped round." I know that council tax. Yeah, you can, but what I'm meaning is they wouldn't send you an email, do they? They wouldn't send you an email to say that you've got to do this. They would be. They can. I mean, I've had them years ago. I had an accountant that wasn't particularly good, and I got a bit behind with the tax, and they were ringing me up at home at 8 o'clock at night saying, "You haven't paid your tax." I said, "No, I ain't got any money." Well, they would just penalise you with interest. They wouldn't lock you up for it. Obviously, if you were doing a tax scam and the police investigated you, you could then, but they wouldn't send you an email about it. Get that tax shit 4 times a day. Wow. Yeah, I think they obviously then must know what your age group are and think that you're gullible, and they can take advantage of you. They tried that with me. I told him I don't own a car. They hung up on me and never called again. I got one ring up one day, and he said, "I'm ringing up about your internet." I said, "Well, what's wrong with it?" Well, he said, "It is faulty." I said, "What's wrong with it?" "Well, it is broken." I said, "Well, what company are you ringing from?" He said, "Well, it could be, could be BT, it could be this." I said, "Yeah, but which company is it from? What company are you from?" And he's trying to, "Well, yes, but your internet is going to go off." I said, "Yeah, but what company are you from?" Anyway, he said, he just wouldn't say it because obviously he didn't know. And I said, "Look," I said, "you're just a scammer, mate." He said, "Go away." And then he started swearing and slammed the phone down. Then I got another one, and they said, they started like, I said, "Oh, you're trying to rip me off, aren't you?" "What do you mean, sir?" I said, "You're trying to scam me." I said, "You're a scammer." I said, "You're a filthy scammer," and then called him a few names, and he F and Jeffed and then put the phone in. Play with their own game. Have some fun. So I've got the internet. A minute I'm on 40/20. So is that 40 up and 20 down? I don't know. I can never remember which way it works. And then, in the next few weeks, I'm going to be on 1100 because they've finally put proper fibre in outside the house. Then I'm going to get rid of the phone line and have the cab phone diverted to my mobile constantly through VoIP. And that'll be £10 a month instead of 110. And then I'm going to be paying 40 quid for the internet instead of 30. 30. So it's going to be good. I'm quite looking forward to it. And they give you up to three boosters. So this is what I use for my cab. Samsung A15. It's a 5G phone. It's on O2. And I think I paid 160 quid for it because I wanted the 5G version. Because obviously you get more options for signal if you've got 5G. So I didn't want to go and spend another 500 or 600 quid for an iPhone. And my iPhone 10 was it just seemed, I couldn't get the diverts to come off and stuff like that. So I thought it was just because it was 4G. But I've done it since I've had that. Well, I've had one problem one day. Now when I get a call from a number I don't know, I answer with Bayview Funeral Home. And how would you like to be buried? Well, yeah. I mean, the only landline calls we get are diverted to a mobile, so we never actually get a phone ringing in the house. So if anybody rings you on your mobile, they're either friends or, well, I don't know. My wife, she'll never answer a number that she doesn't know. And I say to her, you must do sometimes, because I said it could be for anything. So if she's in, I'll answer it. And they go, hello, sir. And as soon as I say that, I think, well, you don't know whose phone it is. And I just block the number for her. Bayview Funeral Home, where would you like to be buried? But, I don't know. I mean, I'm always pretty sympathetic with salespeople for a start. Because some people are genuinely cold callers trying to make a living at what they're doing. Because everybody's got to make a living, but I'll give them. I say, look, I don't need anything. Thank you very much for ringing. And then if they carry on, I just I bin them. Then that's I don't get rude to them. Last time I got a warranty call, I told them I have a 72 Mura, and from them since. What's a 72 Mura? Is it a Mura S? I've started following an account on Facebook with classic cars. I think he's a broker or something like that. And they had a Lincoln Continental the other day, and the car was green. And when they opened the door, every single part, Lambo. Oh yeah, of course, yeah, 72 Lambo Mura. And when they opened the door, every other part of the car was green. The dashboard, the seats. It was pretty green, like a dark. I mean, it was all leather seats and that, like a dark, shiny green. It was. I couldn't have dealt with that. It was a bit strong. I used to know somebody had a white Lincoln Continental. The Frank Cannon version from back in the day. And he also had a Dodge Charger Daytona part next to it. That'd be worth some money nowadays. You had one. 1989. It was a cream colour. Yeah. I rented a Cadillac DeVille when I was, the second time I was in Florida. The first time I went, I had a Dodge Jeep, Grand Cherokee Jeep, a brand spanking new one. It still had the plastic on the handles. They just got it that day. They hadn't even put the floor mats in it. They were in the boot. The second time I went, I got a Cadillac DeVille. That would have been a 2004 or 2006. The next time I went was 2016, and I got one of those, Infinities, the 80, the V6 one, the V8 one. That was gorgeous. Last time I went, I got a Ford Explorer, which was pretty shit, to be honest. It had a bad life. It'd been a rental car somewhere else and then got dragged over to Florida because it had a license plate on the front, and Florida didn't have to have one. Right. Time to what? You get welcome to living on your own, mate. When you lived at your parents', I bet you never looked at your energy usage, did you? When you had every light on in the house, when they used to keep complaining, you've got every light on in the house and the television, and you laid in your room listening to music. My son, when he got his own place, he used to go to his house and try and make a cup of tea or coffee. Or when he used to come here, he'd switch the plug off at the socket, thinking that he didn't want to get any electric in the wire because he got it to pay for. Crazy. With the oven being on last night in the shower, used something like £4 in electric. Yeah, I never know. I don't know what our bills are, to be honest. I'd just take a set amount out of the business and give it to Sue, and she does the magic. I think I must give her enough because she didn't say I didn't want any more. I'm sure she would mention it. I know when the electric went up last year, we started to put more into the house out of the business. And because I kept coming in and she'd be sat watching television. The house was absolutely freezing, and she sat there with this big blanket around her. I said, "What are you doing?" "Well, I'm not putting the electric on. It's going to be or the gas on. It's going to be too expensive." I said, "You're telling me you're going to work full time and then wrap yourself up in a bloody blanket in your own front room?" I said, "You put that bloody heating on." I said, "Whatever it comes to, we'll pay it." I've just switched to Wi-Fi. LED light bulbs can control the whole house with Alexa. Yeah, them LEDs are good. I mean, light bulbs now are expensive, aren't they? But that's what we buy with them LED ones, and they're brilliant, and they're really bright as well. We've got one at the top of the stairs, and they last 2 or 3 years, don't they? But when you go to buy another one, you get 3 for a tenner, where they used to be 60p each when you got the normal glass ones. £150 a month. Is that for electricity and gas, or just for? I don't know if you have gas or whether you have bottled gas. Or we have mains gas here, and that's our heating is the gas. I think that's probably about what we pay for each one. To be honest, they put the gas went up massively last year, massively. Oh, that's for electric. You got electric heating, and have you got aircon as well? I don't know how much it costs us to run the aircon here, to be honest. They're only one-room units. Yeah, the rent that makes it go up. But I've not used our aircon. I haven't even used the heating yet. We put the heating on one day because it was really cold in here, but apparently there's going to be a cold snap next week, so that'll be it now until February. We'll need it on. Gas is too expensive. Wow. Yeah, it's not cheap here now, but I don't know. Basically, it's what it costs you a year, isn't it? Obviously, when we get anywhere near March, you switch your heating off and you never have it on again until mid to late October. So then you've got November, December, January, February. It gets less and less. Sometimes you put it on for an hour. Is the BlackBerry Porsche Design P9982 worth buying in 2024? They did switch the servers off. The BlackBerry servers have been switched off. But it's a very, very beautiful thing. I've got the P9983. The P9982, that's the touchscreen one, isn't it? I know if you look on... I'll tell you what, here's one to... I'm trying to think of the name of the bloody company now. But you'd have a board looking at there. They've got a solid gold P9981 in for about £25,000. I can't remember the name of the company. The thing is, if you just want to own it, I think you can. A lot of the apps don't work, but you'd be able to use them on a web-based thing, wouldn't you? You need heat 1 week a year. Bloody hell, that'd be this week. It would cost £300 or more, or $300 a month. Bloody hell. Anyway, hello, Secure 2003. Secure 2003. Cooked steak for the first time the other night. It was banging, but others said it was mooing. Yeah, you like yours mooing now, don't you? Was you sat having dinner with us? And the other lads, I don't know if he was you sat with us? He was, yeah, of course he was. And was it Benny and Anki, or did it bloody burn nearly? Like, you don't do that to a steak. You might as well have a burger. Why would you want it like that? When you're sat in a posh restaurant, somebody comes in, I'll have a fillet steak, please, because they're trying to be posh. And they go, how would you like it cooking? They go, well done. You think, yeah, council house. You've just won at the bingo. So if you're still there, I don't know if you're still there, how much is a P9982 worth in 2024? You can pick those P9983s up. They're still up to about 500 quid brand new. I wish it would still work, to be honest. It was a beautiful, beautiful phone. Yeah, it was, yeah. Well done. Even the waitress, yeah. Oh, yeah, that was right, yeah. She brought him a full fat Coke. She said, he ordered it. I said, no, I didn't. I ordered a Coors. She said, I don't understand your bloody accent. I said, well, you're only from Birmingham. We're only 90 mile away. Coors, not Coke. That was funny, that, wasn't it? There's Anki sat there with a pint of full fat Coke and his bloody sugars were all over anyway. That was good, that. It was a good crack, wasn't it? I enjoyed that. Are you going this time, Connor? Are you on the... now you've got your own place, are you struggling, you know? Are you not going to make it? If you're still going in May, I'll probably go. Because we're away in June next year. I'll get saved up. I enjoy it. I enjoy the May one because it gets warmer every day rather than colder. Whereas you go in October, it's dark at bloody 6 o'clock, isn't it? I've just enjoyed sitting outside. Are you going in May? Yeah, I'm going to try and go in May, but taking on this place has meant... No, that's right, exactly. Welcome to the real world. That's what it is, isn't it? The thing is, you've swapped it for something else, haven't you? You've got your own place. That's it. And that's what it's all about, mate. You've got a nice little place to call your own. You can do what you want. You just have to put a bit away every month if you can do it. You know, it's the only way to do it, isn't it? Nicky Maynard, good afternoon to you, sir. Nobody's got any disposable money. Well, I was saying to my wife the other week, I was actually saying to her last week, I was saying, I don't know where all the money goes. I said, I seem to be working and it's all disappearing. And then I worked out. In March, I bought that car. I put £1,400 down on it. Then I took it and had to register it with the council. That's another £300. So that's £1,700. Then it needed a couple of tyres on the front and something else. And that's another £200. You know, then it wanted an oil change and some brake pads. So that's another £200. And then all of a sudden, we worked it out. It wanted the timing belt doing because the rubber and they need doing at a certain amount of, you know, either years or miles. So it needed doing because of the years, not the miles. That's another £400. Then all of a sudden, the suspension wanted doing. So it was £400 initially, or £500 for the shock absorbers. Then it still wasn't right because the anti-roll bar had gone, and that was another £400. On top of that, you've got a payment every month. There ain't no wonder you ain't got no money. I had 2 weeks off in September to go on holiday with my wife, which everybody's entitled to do. So you've got the loss of takings for that, or the loss of earnings for that, because obviously I don't get any wages when I'm off because I'm self-employed. Stick that into the equation, and that's why you ain't got no money. If you work it all out, it's £4 grand, 3-4 grand. And that's the way it is, isn't it? On top of that, everything's gone up. I mean, I used to remember if you went for an oil change at a main dealer's, it'd be 204 quid at a main dealer's. If you go for one at a local garage now, it's more than that. Because oil's expensive. £65, I think, for the oil to put in the sump. And you've got a filter on top and the bloke's time for doing it. It's just the way it is. I hadn't ordered an Indian takeaway for a long, long time. And the one that I had last night came to 36 quid. And that was for poppadoms, 2 curries, 2 rice and a keema. I think I'm going to start treating Expo like Graham does. Like a holiday each year. Well, that's it. If you weren't going to go anywhere, you know, book in the night before. So you're ready for Friday morning. Get there Thursday afternoon. So book Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Basically, you've got an holiday. book your room with a meal option. So it's like being half board. All you want is a bit of beer money. The thing is, sitting in the expo talking to people don't cost you any money at all, does it? So just do it like that. I really enjoy going, but I like to get that 2 nights, and I really do like to get sat with everybody and have a beer. I love it. It's just, I said it the other night when I was doing the thing. The people who I speak to on the internet, I know a lot of them. I've met them in real life, and since Lou's been poorly, it's like just people are so kind, and just because of your mates, you know what I mean? I like them, and it makes you feel a lot better in life when you get a chance to do it. I suppose I'd better clear off, really. I need to be at work in 15 minutes and I ain't had a sandwich. So I'll pop back tomorrow and have another go, if I can find anything to talk about. It's already, I've already scheduled it through my phone. So you'll be able to click on that if you want to see it tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to talk about tomorrow. I won't be here next week because I'll be in Viva España. So that's another week off and another reason I ain't got any. Yeah, I was under the impression that you needed spending money, but to be honest, you can go and only grab a few bottles of juice and some beer. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's exactly true. I mean, you can sit on them settees and you can just soak up the atmosphere of the expo and see all the people that you haven't seen. And people come and sit and have a chat to you for a bit. You know, you haven't really got to have loads and loads and loads of money. Well, and you haven't got to buy hardware, or you could even take your own juice. I mean, I certainly don't buy anything off. Don't go and buy another hog because it's cheaper on bloody D-Sig 1. I think if you are going to buy anything before you have a pang, because it's it's a mental thing, and it's like, I want one of them because you've had a few beers. I'm having one of them. If you were sober, you'd think, I'm not paying a lot for it. To be really honest, I wish I'd have bought that. I'd have rather bought that one off Legio X's store. I can't think what it was now. I think it was a parallel that because he was selling some for the Mexican guy who was coming over, and I'd rather purchase that than what I actually bought in. But that's life. It's the social side that's good. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's nice to actually sit and talk to people that you've been talking to people all year, isn't it? And I got sat there and on them settees, and I got talking to Anki, he's lovely, and obviously Connor, and then Bunny and Darren. They're just lovely, aren't they, as well? Yeah, I'm big on DIY at the moment. Not bought a commercial juice for about 6 months, apart from Nick Salts. If you like, if you want some Nick Salts, you want to go on Dispergo. Obviously fluid as well. So if you go on with, in my memory, if you go on Dispergo and have a look at that Nixa stuff, that works out at 13 quid for 60 mils. The fluid stuff's actually cheaper. And you can have it in freebase or thingy. Alchemist Cupboard. I mean, that bloody Onyx is banging just in 12 milligram as the mouth to lung. I've been vaping it in this in there for since I bought it, 3 weeks, and still, I don't know if you can't really see. I've only got down half of it. So it's a right good price. That was $7.99. It's cheap. Right, I better go because it's turning into a vape show. 44 minutes, that's not bad. So there's no outro. Aramaxi was cheap. Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was brilliant. I bought loads of it, to be honest. And what I tend to do now is not put the nick in it because then it gives it a chance of not going off when I get back to it. Going back to freebase, struggling to be honest with salts. Yeah, I don't like salts. I like that smash that you get from freebase, to be honest. Salts just make my nose sore and horrible. You bought 8 bottles of what? Onyx. I just bought 2. I bought this and the Cobalt. I haven't tried the Cobalt yet. I just thought I'd get stuck into this because I'm doing it in that pod. This pod here was the one that came out. If you look, it's a 3 mil pod. It came out with that device when they sent it out for review. and I've been vaping that. I went on holiday on the 1st of September. I ain't used it for a week now, but I vaped that from then until I changed it the other day. And the only real reason I changed it is because that actually got so worn it was falling off. So, brilliant. I learned that if I buy from shops in England, it is less money than ordering from US sites. God, my days. That's if it gets there. That's the only problem. Yeah, Onyx, love the stuff. Yeah, lose 03. Yeah, there's a mango one, isn't there? I might go for that mango one. I don't know if they sell that in that, but it's lovely. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, really? When I first went to Florida, I keep saying I'm going. When I first went to Florida, I was like a kid in a sweet shop. It was 2016. I started vaping that year, and I think it was in the January, and we got there in about the June, and I expected, there were vape shops all over the place, and I went into quite a few of them, expecting it to be, because it was American stuff we were vaping over here at the time. So I went into all these little vape shops, they were absolutely ram jam full of juice all over the place. And I thought it's going to be a lot cheaper over here because it's actually in America. And when I went to it, it was the same price as what it was here. It was a waste of time. Are you big on pods? Looking for a decent MTL RTA? Still using the Nico mouth till I use these. I love these. They're 4mm tank. The Albrique 2. It's a bit of a tricky wick for a start. You have to put a lot more in it than what you think you do. Otherwise, it just leaks or it gurgles and fills the chamber up. But I've got two of them, and I alternate with them. I'll vape that one for 2 days, then vape the other one for 2 days. But one's got the jus in. Not that one. Cranberry shock with rhubarb. That's my latest one. That new Elvape looks good, to be honest. With the one with the waffy drip tip, looks quite cool. The Malbreaks, if you can pick them up, I don't know if there's any left. I think they're about 23 quid. And I say that I'll fill that up before I go out. I take juice swimming, and sometimes I never put any more in it before I get back, and I seem to chug away on it a lot. I think it's 4 or 5mm tank. And it's really good flavour. I say it's just a tricky wick for a start. I think Billy Lee got one, didn't really like it, but I love them. Right, I better go. Catch you all soon. Have a lovely day. Need to grab some Pure Max pods. I threw my drip tip away. I've got the Cthulhu AIO and Orion. Oh, right, nice. Right, I really am going to go because I've got to have some tweet and go to work. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.